Each year, Google gives its Google Ventures investment manager Bill Morris approximately $300 million to do with what he deems best, and oftentimes he opts to extend the funding to companies that help humans extend their lives. Each year, Google gives its Google Ventures investment manager Bill Morris approximately $300 million to do with what he deems best, and oftentimes he opts to extend the funding to companies that help humans extend their lives.
Each year, Google gives its Google Ventures investment manager, Bill Morris, approximately $300 million to do with what he deems best. And oftentimes, he opts to extend the funding to companies that help humans extend their lives. Okay, so the red were the tough parts, everything else not too bad. Each year, get that connection down. Each year. It's a bit difficult for many people. So put it together, each year. Now, what's interesting, each year and each ear, do they sound the same? Each year, they sound the same. They absolutely will sound the same, okay, if you say it really fast. So we have to understand the context, all right? Each year, each ear. Say it quickly. Each year, Google gives its Google Ventures. Google gives its Google Ventures. It's, okay, the company. Google Ventures. Keys. Said Adventures. Google Adventures. I like that. Google Adventures. It sounds like Disneyland or something like that. And I'm not teasing, but it's just simply ventures. Check the glossary, it's a great word. Google gives its not a him, not a her, it's possessive, there is no apostrophe. Google gives its, connection, Google gives its Google Ventures investment manager, Bill Morris. So, Google gives Mars, this is the sentence. Each year, every year, Google gives Mars approximately $300 million. $300 million to do with, lots of people left out the with. To do with what he deems best. There was a question, is this a good pattern? Is this a common pattern? I will talk about the pattern tomorrow. The words are correct. To do with what he deems best. So this was confusing. Why with? This was probably a new word for many people. To do with what he deems best. The pronunciation is clear. You'll listen again, but it's clear. Just practice. To do with what he deems best. To do with what he deems best. To do with what he deems best. And oftentimes, and. Lots of people wrote in, okay? In, no. And often, now he does keep the T. Most Americans we cancel. Oftentimes. This is actually one word. It's one word. And oftentimes, he opts. Okay, the T is silent. The S kills the T. He opts. Check the glossary. He opts to extend the funding to companies that help humans extend their lives. You guys did really good at the end. Very good job. I will say one thing though. Sometimes as an English teacher and as a speaker, as a podcaster, somebody who uses voice and language and video professionally, I like to analyze other people who also read. And by listening, some stories you can tell the writer and the reader or the narrator are very different. And in this sentence, there's one thing that strikes me. I really liked the usage of this word and then this word. Again, but used quite differently. To extend the funding to people, to companies that help humans extend their lives. Okay? So if I had written this and if I had was reading this, I would really emphasize these two words because he used the same verb but in very different ways. Another thing about the writer, and I don't know why people do this, it's passive writing, it's mitigation, it's distancing yourself from the subject. Who wrote this? A monkey or a human? Probably a human, right? Yeah. But yet he says humans extend their lives, which it's actually, you don't have to, we're all humans. Everybody watching this video, everybody listening to this story, the person who wrote the story, I'm sure, was a human, so therefore this word is wrong. What should we change it to? Yeah, we should change it to our lives. I just thought that was funny. And I don't know, did you notice? Did you recognize these two things? Extend was used twice. That's good writing. The writer, and I tell you, don't repeat the same word. The easy words, the silly words. But sometimes we do repeat a context word. And sometimes it means the same thing, but sometimes it's used differently. It sounds interesting, it sounds intelligent, as it does here. But then they make that silly mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe that was intentional. Anyway, let's go ahead and read it together again. Are you ready? I'm not going to go super fast, somewhat fast. Try and stay with me and then listen to the original. All right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Each year, Google gives its Google Ventures investment manager, Bill Mares, approximately $300 million to do with what he deems best. And oftentimes, he opts to extend the funding to companies that help humans extend their lives.